Good morning. My name is Caroline Labor, and I'm so glad to talk with you today about something near and dear to my heart and something that helped me to learn how to work smart instead of hard by increasing my personal effectiveness. I'm so fortunate to be mentored and now a certified Thinking into Results facilitator with Bob Proctor, who you may have heard of from the movie The Secret. Together, Bob and I are helping individuals and businesses learn how to master their mind and gain abundant professional and personal success. Now, today, I'm going to talk to you about how you can master your mind. Did you know that we think in pictures? If I asked you to imagine your mind, I'm sure most of you would probably picture your brain. And we do this because we don't have a picture of the mind. But you see, our brain is no more our mind than our elbow or our toe. So, what does the mind look like? Now, in 1934, Dr. Thurman Fleet, who was a chiropractor from Texas, created a picture of our mind to help us be able to work with our mind and move ahead in our life. Now, if you look at this diagram here, the top circle represents the mind, and the bottom circle represents the body. As you can see, the mind in this picture is much larger than the body, and we do this on purpose because until now in our lives, we've given all of our awareness and attention to our physical body and our physical results. But actually, everything in our life is an expression of our mind, and our body merely carries out the action. So you see, our mind is made up of two parts, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. Now, our conscious mind is what we call our thinking mind, and the subconscious mind is the emotional mind. You see, with the conscious mind, free will and awareness originate here. We can choose our thoughts here because our conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject ideas. So that means you actually have 100% control over your thinking. Now, I'll come back and explain this further shortly, but for now, let's take a look at how the two parts of our mind interact. So, moving back to the subconscious mind, this is our feeling and our emotional mind. It's the storehouse of our mind, if you like. It's the part of our mind where we store our memories, our habits, our conditioned beliefs, even our self-image. Now, you see, thoughts that are held in our conscious mind and have an emotional charge are delivered to our subconscious mind. And whether these thoughts are positive or negative is actually irrelevant, because once they're emotionalized, these thoughts will impress themselves upon the subconscious mind, which then dictates the feelings that we feel. So, to put this in a simple way, your thoughts actually cause your feelings. Now, to extend this further, feelings are expressed in our body as actions, and actions produce our results. So that means that everything in our lives is really an expression of what's going on in our mind. So, in other words, if you want to know what you're thinking about, take a look at your results because results don't lie. So, to change our results, we must first start by changing the thoughts we're thinking. And when we change what's on the inside, our thoughts, we automatically change what's on the outside, our results. And most people, in fact, know what to do to get better results, but it's their previous thinking that has set up roadblocks in their subconscious mind which prevents them from taking or sometimes completing the necessary actions required to achieve what they want. So it's critical to understand that your current results are not a reflection of your potential. Your current results are nothing more than a reflection of your previous thinking. You see, your potential is limitless, and it's only your mind that limits you. So once you understand this concept, you'll realize that your possibilities are truly endless. Now, I'm really grateful to help people learn how to achieve this in the Thinking into Results program I facilitate, and I would love to work with you to bring about a similar shift in your organization. So let's discuss the mind in more depth. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have 100% control over our thinking. So you might be wondering, what influences my mind? How do we choose to have either a positive thought or a negative thought? Now, you see, we have five physical senses. We see, we hear, we smell, we taste, and we touch. You probably remember these words from school. Now, we've been conditioned to learn from these senses from a very young age, and these senses are hardwired like little antennae into our conscious mind. Our five senses are how we've been taught to gather the majority of information from our environment. These senses are always on. We don't even have to tell them to notice because they're always being bombarded by our environment: TV, radio, newspapers, and conversations around us. In fact, we've been so conditioned to respond to our environment through these senses that when someone gives us a compliment, we feel good, and yet in the next moment, if we're criticized or put down, we can instantly feel bad. We're riding on an emotional roller coaster. One minute we're feeling up, and the next minute we're feeling down. Can anyone relate to that? So the question is, how do we improve our results? Well, firstly, when we're talking about changing our results, we really must be careful of who and what we're listening to. In this regard, most well-meaning family and friends can offer us a lot of advice, but sometimes free advice can be the most costly because you can waste a lot of time following poor advice. What you want to do is follow the advice of people who have already achieved the success that you're looking for. Now, there's also a better way to influence your thoughts that's completely independent of your environment, and that is through the higher side of your mind, your intellect. In school, we weren't conditioned or taught to work with our intellect, yet it's the proper use of these intellectual faculties that allow us to control the way we think. They're like mental muscles, and when you learn to use these intellectual faculties, you will create the results and live the life you truly desire. Now, I have time this morning to share one of my favourite intellectual faculties, and that is perception. Perception is quite simply your point of view, and understanding perception can be really powerful from a number of angles. Firstly, it helps to improve your interactions with those around you because it becomes clear that people can respond very differently to identical situations based on their perception. Secondly, it helps you to not only understand yourself and what your perception is based on, but we also learn that we can change our point of view. The truth is, we see with our beliefs, not with our eyes. We can see the limitation or we can see the invitation. Dr. Wayne Dyer says, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Now, if you think about this, you really can learn to use perception to accelerate your success. The remaining five intellectual faculties are will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reason. Now, we don't have time to go through all of these today, but I do want to leave you with the thought that instead of gathering information from the lower side of our nature, our senses, we must develop and use the higher side of our personality, our intellect. And you see, by doing this, we start to impress more productive thoughts upon our emotional mind. And this, in turn, drives us to vibrate at a more productive frequency. So we start to behave and act in a way that produces the results that we want. And your ultimate check that you're acting in the right manner and thinking productive thoughts is that you will feel great. When you're actually moving in the step of achieving your goals, you will feel a sense of achievement. You'll finally feel that you're moving in the right direction. Because you see, you were designed to create a life and live the life that you love. And that's why I'm really grateful to work with individuals and companies every day, teaching them how to use these same resources and intellectual faculties to achieve and live the results they desire. Because we're truly thinking into results all the time. So why not use it to your advantage? Now, I'd like to invite you to take your next success steps today by enrolling into the Transformational Thinking into Results program, designed by Bob Proctor and Sandra Gallagher. I facilitate this program with teams of up to 20 people, and we explore 12 comprehensive lessons in goal achievement and personal effectiveness. The program includes 13 face-to-face sessions with me, which we'll schedule at a mutually convenient time, a comprehensive course guide for each participant, Participants will also have email and phone access to me throughout the course period. And I also offer the opportunity for one or more members of your team to co-facilitate the program with me, which will embed your learning even further. I have copies of the course syllabus available at the back table, and I'll be available for questions and to take bookings. Thanks very much for your time this morning. I'm Caroline Labor, and I look forward to meeting you at the end of the session.